Another day, another sale. But not just any sale. The PlayStation end of the year sale is here, ladies and gentlemen, and it features a ton of games that I think you guys should try out. Now, if you haven't got a chance to see them yourself, don't worry. Your boy that geeks in the city got your back. I am Burger. Hello. And I'm here to show you 10 outstanding PlayStation deals that you can get right now for under $10. That's right. If you're on a budget, then this video is for you. Keep in mind though that these are only the PlayStation sales that we'll be discussing today. We're not looking at any other game sales for any other companies, any other retail sites. Only PlayStation, only what they have to offer. And keep in mind these are my opinions. So without further ado, let's get into it. At number 10, we have God Eater Resurrection for $4.99. God Eater is actually a really good title. I'm surprised that a lot of people don't know about it. But for the people who do know about it, you know exactly what you're getting into when you play this game. Humanity has been destroyed by these creatures called origamis, and it's up to you and your new god art to stop this and put humanity back on the map. There's quite a bit of story to God Eater. I'm not gonna lie, it gets repetitive towards the end because a lot of it is just, you know, hey, go over there, attack that. Hey, this is a different color now, so go attack that. But it's playable up to 4 people. So you and some friends can take on the missions together. And honestly, if you're playing with 4 people, it's not that bad. The story's pretty solid. It's very interesting. It's a good way to get into the franchise. Now, if I had to compare God Eater to any other game out there, I would say it's like the anime version of Monster Hunter. Being that Monster Hunter is more about slaying dragons and cyclops and these mythical creatures, God Eater deals with more of the anime side where you're slaying these demons, these creatures combined with monsters, things like that. God Eater originally came out for the PSP, so this version is actually a remake of that version. So it has over 100 hours of more content, it's fully voice acted, the entire game is playable up to 4 people, so you and 3 others can experience the world together. I say it's a pretty solid title, and for $4.99, it's not a bad way to get into the franchise. At number 9, we have Rogue Galaxy for $5.99. Rogue Galaxy is an excellent JRPG, and if you haven't got a chance to play it, I would say now's a good time to try it out. I would say there's not a lot of games like it when it comes to stories and characters. It's definitely one of its own. It's a solid JRPG for $5.99. You can't go wrong with this title. Now, as I said, it's a JRPG, so if you're not a JRPG fan, then you might want to pass this title up. This might not be something you're into, but if you haven't played the story of Rogue Galaxy, it's actually very good. You play as Jas the Rogue, a young man who was abandoned on this planet called Rosa a very long time ago. He lives with a priest named Raul, and he always wants to go on an adventure. He gets that wish when this giant beast or creature attacks his city, and he basically, story goes from there, without spoiling too much. Like I said, it's action adventure, so you fight in real time. Every character has about 2 different weapons. They have 2 different weapon types that they use. Overall, the game is great. It's pretty fun. It's a great crafting system. You learn new skills. You go around a lot of different places. Voice acting is pretty good. You'll notice a lot of famous voice actors in this game. Yuri Lowenthal, who plays Sasuke, of course. Nolan North. The game is very well flushed. Keep in mind, this is a PlayStation 2 game, so graphically it's not going to be as amazing as any other PlayStation 4 title you might find. So if you just played God of War or you just saw the new Final Fantasy trailer and then you saw this, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not going to be what you expect. Still, as a solid PS2 title, this is actually a hidden gem, I would say, and it's a very well fleshed out game. It's extremely fun, story is good, characters are interesting. You actually want to find out what goes on next. Definitely give this one a try. $5.99, can't go wrong. You have my approval. Check it out. Now, at number 8, we have Little Nightmares, the Complete Edition. Not to be confused with Little Nightmares. See, Little Nightmares has 2 versions, the Complete Edition and the regular edition. The Complete Edition basically comes with all the DLC, so I would say it's the better buy in that opinion. Little Nightmares is a 2D scrolling adventure game. Sort of like Limbo if you ever played it, and just like Limbo, the story to this game is pretty good. It's actually, I would say it's amazing. It won a lot of awards when it came out. You play as a little girl, 9-year-old girl actually, who is named Six, who's trapped on this ship called the Maul. As she tries to escape, she encounters many different puzzles and many different creatures, and it's up to you to help her get away. If I had any gripe with Little Nightmares, it's just the fact that it's not that long. And the only reason it's not that long is because you'll be blazing through it because you want to find out what happens with the story. But that's actually not a negative about the game. That's actually a very good compliment, that you actually go through the story extremely fast because you want to find out what happens. The game is extremely fun. I had a great time playing it. I believe it won a couple awards in the time that it came out. Like I said, it's an indie platform puzzle game, so you'll have to think, but overall, at the end of the game, you'll be very entertained. I give Little Nightmares like a 8 out of 10 for puzzle games. It's really good. Definitely give this one a try if you're into the puzzle platform games, or if you're looking to try something new versus what you usually play. At number 7, we have Gravity Rush Remastered for, hey, look at that, $7.49. Gravity Rush Remastered is, as it says, a remastered version of Gravity Rush. Gravity Rush originally came out on the PlayStation Vita, I believe in 2013. It was a launch title, I believe. But you play as a young girl named Kat who can't remember anything about her, who has the unique ability as a shifter. A shifter is someone that is able to control the gravity all around her. Now, what I love about Gravity Rush is the fact that there's no game like it. I can't compare it to any other game because it feels so unique. The ability to fly through the air, you know, it gives you like a real superhero feeling to it. And the story isn't that bad either. The game is not in English though. It's all Japanese. So just letting you know, be forewarned. And on top of that, the title was a Vita game, and the Vita took advantage of a lot of touch features, so that stuff is integrated on the PlayStation 4 version a little too, so you will be using the touchpad a little. However, the game is still good. I say it's a solid title. For $7.49, it's a great time to get into the Gravity Rush series. Don't miss this one out. All right, at number 6, we have Yeast Origins for $7.99. Yeast Origins is the prequel to the Yeast series. Now, if you've never played the Yeast series, there's a lot to get into. There are about 9 games overall. And this one takes place before all that. I think it's like 700 years before that. So if you're trying to get into the series, this is a good way to start. It's an action RPG, real time. So you get to move around, attack, and things like that. It's pretty cool. Now, you have to keep in mind that this game was a PlayStation Vita game. Okay, so if graphics are your thing, this might not be for you. However, that doesn't change the fact that it's an amazing action RPG. Everything's in real time. You move around. It's pretty fun. Once again, has to stress the fact that the graphics are not up to par to what you may be expecting from maybe a newer release, but it's still a good title. I would definitely recommend this title to anyone that's looking to get into the Yeast franchise. It's a lot to get into, but this is where it all begins, so definitely check out Yeast Origins right now for $7.99. Alright, now listen, this is the last JRPG, I promise, okay? But number 5 has to go to Valkyria Chronicles Remastered for $7.99. Listen, Valkyria Chronicles is literally one of my top 5 favorite JRPGs of all time. This game takes place in like the war area. It's in its own world, but it's in a war setting. It's a strategy JRPG, so a lot of tactics and things are needed. I think where this game shines most is the story. The story to this game is so fantastic. It's almost like watching an anime. I strongly recommend anybody that's looking for a new type of JRPG to get into. Valkyria Chronicles is one of the few stories that takes a military spin and puts it in a JRPG world. Different strategies, different tactics, different scouts. This game has it all. I can't talk enough about this game and how confident I am that you will truly enjoy this title. So definitely give Valkyria Chronicles Remastered a try. The remastered edition's in 60 frames per second. It has all the DLC that the original one didn't have. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's still there. You know, more Valkyria Chronicles is always good. You can level up your characters, train them, upgrade equipment, things like that. The game is really good, and the story is about 15, 20, 30. It's like a 30-hour story, so there's something to play there. Stepping away from JRPGs, we arrived at number 4, Metal Gear Solid 5 for $7.99. Now this is Metal Gear Solid 5, the definitive experience. Not to be confused with just the base game of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Metal Gear Solid 5, the definitive experience, comes with 3 games in total. It comes with Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero, the prequel to Metal Gear Solid 5, and Metal Gear Online. Honestly, this is probably the last good Metal Gear game we're gonna ever get, being that Kojima is doing his own thing, and since he's making games like Death Stranded, this is pretty much it for the Metal Gear franchise, because Metal Gear Survive, that's not cutting it. That game is terrible. But do not let that game speak for the series itself. Metal Gear Solid 5 was an extremely good game, and for $7.99 you get the complete package, all 3 types, all DLC, both stories included in Ground Zero and the Phantom Pain, and you get to play online with other people, and the community is actually still active. But I would have to say that this game shines where the story is, okay? This game has a crazy story. You'll enjoy it. Definitely try it out. The Phantom Pain for $7.99. Moving on to number 3, we have Skullgirls Second Encores for $8.74. Skullgirls probably has to be one of my favorite 2D fighting games. I would even go so far to say is that it's the best 2D fighting game you can get into if you are a beginner. If you never played a 2D fighting game before and you've been looking to get into one, this would be where you should start. It has 14 characters. Every character plays completely different. There are no clones of each other except for like some of the extra characters they added in at the last minute. It has a fully voiced story mode. Voice acting is really good. Fighting is fast paced. It goes from 2v2 to 1v1 to even 3v3. I can't even tell you how many hours I put into this game practicing and perfecting different combos. The game is just that good. It's so fast paced. It's super easy to learn. Overall, great title. I would definitely say give Skullgirls a try if you're looking to get into 2D fighting games and you don't want to spend a lot of money. Solid title overall. Skullgirls Second Encore. Give it a shot right now. $8.74. Alright, for number 2, we have For Honor for $9.89. For Honor is a fighting game that I would have to say is unique because I can't compare it to any type of game. One of the cool things about For Honor is that literally you can get the base game right now for $9.89, and all the DLC you can unlock by just playing the game. Yes, it's one of those games where yes, there is DLC, but you don't have to buy it. I feel like that's what you need in a video game these days. Too many games rely on DLC, and especially if a game just comes out, you're paying $62 for the game, then you're paying $25 for a season pass. More games need options like this, so if you don't have the money for a season pass, you can still get all the content and be up to date with everyone else. The story mode is pretty basic, once again. It's not too crazy, not too bad. It's there, and it's a pretty solid experience. The game is actually extremely easy to pick up, so it's very simple to learn. Definitely give For Honor a try if you never played it before. For $9.89, it's a really good title, and as long as you got a buddy playing with you, you'll be having fun for a while. For number 1, we have Shadow of Colossus for $9.99. Listen, if you have never played Shadow of Colossus before, now's the time to try this game. This game is fantastic. Story, the combat, it's just so unique in the way how you go around the world. Literally what you're seeing on the screen, those giant creatures, you have to fight that. That's you versus that. It's Attack on Titan before Attack on Titan. You play the story as the Wanderer, a young man who enters this forbidden land to try to revive this girl. I can't really get too much into it without it, affecting spoilers, but the game is really good. It's so much fun, climbing up these gigantic beasts, trying to figure out their weak points and where you can attack them. Definitely a solid game. If you haven't played Shadow of Colossus before, definitely now's the time to get into it for $9.99. You won't regret it. And that's our list. Those were 10 outstanding games right now you can get on the PlayStation End of the Year sale for under $10. If you've seen a title that wasn't mentioned here, make sure you let us know in the comments below. We're giving the whole YouTube thing a try now, and every like and every subscribe goes a long way, so we truly appreciate all you can do. I am Burger from Geeks in the City, and I want to say thank you for sticking around and watching all the way to the end. Have a great day and stay geeky.